Whew. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Ford Explorer Platinum. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for providing us with this Explorer. Check out the inventory in the link below. Let's just get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Explorer Platinum, we have a twin turbocharged 3-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 365 horsepower and then 380 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Explorer. So first and foremost, you've got Ford's signature hood right there with the bulges on either side, and then you do get these full LED lights which look really nice here. I love the projector bulb as well, and then you've got the Ford logo there in the center with the massive front grille. Fog lights are just down here at the bottom, and then you can see you've got parking sensors all along the front end of it. But overall, just kind of like signature look, and people might mistake this one for a cop car because it's in white. Coming around the side here, we've got 275mm tires wrapped around 21-inch wheels in the front and also in the rear of the Explorer as well. And they kind of just went for like basic design with these chrome wheels, which, I mean, it doesn't look bad against the rest of the body of the Explorer. I love how they did the mirrors in black to kind of contrast all of the white that this car has. And then you also have the black little fender flares that continue all along the side of the body. But here is your full side view on the Explorer. Let's go over the rear of the Explorer. So first and foremost, you've got this little cargo area, which is pretty neat, has a decent amount of storage space. And then we can see over here, you've got the controls for the seats so you can raise and lower them. So for example, if I press the L+R, notice that the one seat will go down, and obviously once they're both down, you can press again, and then both of them will pop right back up. And then you do get a little 12-volt right next to it as well, and then we can just press that again. Both seats will come back up. Pretty neat with that, but that's everything for the back. Over the rest of the rear of the Explorer. So first and foremost, with these lights, you've got the signature LED lights, which look super similar to what is on the Expedition, and then you get your 4-wheel drive badge and then the Platinum badge. And then you have all of these exhaust tips. If you guys are running, towing capacity is about 5,600 pounds here on the Explorer Platinum. And other than that, they've kind of gone for like a really big boxy design here in the rear, and it just looks good. Here's the back door on the Explorer Platinum. So you can see you've got all this soft touch all over the entire door panel, and then you've got the piano black trim. Then one of the window controls, I love the look of the speakers, especially this top one right here. Door handle is pretty cool as well. You do get a sunshade here for the rear passengers. And then here are the seats in the back of the Platinum. So they're really soft to the touch. You get nice perforations there in the center. But yeah, just overall really soft to the touch, really comfortable as well. And let's actually pop in. So step in height is not bad at all. And I can actually adjust the seat back, which is pretty cool. I've got a good amount of headroom. I'm 5'11", and you guys can see my legroom is solid as well. And you've got these little storage pockets in the back of the seats. They also have nice material. Climate control is just down here at the bottom, and you can see that you have a full outlet back here as well, which is a pretty neat little thing to have. And then you do get heated seats here for the rear. Now, in terms of the third row, I'd reserve it for kids. You could fit an adult back there in a pinch. Legroom's going to be a little bit on the tight side. Headroom is perfectly fine. It's just legroom. Won't be the most comfortable if you went on like a really long road trip. But for like the size of SUV this is, the third row is actually pretty large. Now coming to the front door panel, you can see you've got soft touch all over the entire door panel, and then you've got your memory seat controls right here. You've got all of your window controls and then your mirror adjustments as well. And again, that door handle is cool, and so is the speaker. But coming to the seats here at the front, these are the best seats in the vehicle. A little bit softer than the rest of the seats actually. You've got the Platinum logo on them. Yeah, the bolsters, especially these like bottom ones, just really soft. These seats are really comfortable to sit in. Got your adjustments there on the side of the seat, and then you have the little Explorer plaque right there. That's the release for the hood. You just pull it 2 times to open up the hood. And then coming up here, you've got the little control for the lights, and then you press that for the fog lights. And it's cool, they did a little bit of stitching right there in that area. And then on the side here, just to make it look a little bit nicer, the steering wheel is automatically adjustable. And there's one more look before we pop in. Now here is the steering wheel in the Platinum. You can see that you've got soft touch all around the entire steering wheel with the black stitching. You have this really nice wood trim there at the bottom. And then you've got these controls here on the side. So these are controls for the center screen. You've got your phone controls, your voice command controls. On the other side, you have the controls for the adaptive cruise control system and the lane keep assist as well, and then your volume controls. paddle shifters on the back so you can shift the gears yourself. And then you've got the stock for the windshield wipers, and then you've got the stock for the turn signal on the other side. And that is everything for the steering wheel. Now for the center cluster, you can see that it's a full digital screen. There's a couple different menus you can scroll through to give you different bits of information on the Explorer. Nothing too crazy, pretty standard setup for most modern vehicles. Now the really cool thing about the Explorer is the drive modes. So I'll show you guys the drive mode select a little bit later, but you have a bunch of different drive modes you can scroll between. You can see on this side you've got like the modes for like adverse conditions. So you got your slippery, your trail, your deep snow, and this is pretty cool. So it actually changes the screens. Like in the trail mode, you can see that you have a little bit of a different screen, which is pretty cool. And then if we pop over into the complete opposite spectrum, over into the sport mode, this one is my favorite drive mode out of all of them. Looks really aggressive with the gauge cluster. It's like all red and everything. I really like the look of it and how it shows you the RPMs and all that. But yeah, that is the drive mode select here for the center. Now here is the center infotainment system. First off, we'll pop it into reverse so you guys can see the backup camera. So you've got these trajectory lines on the backup camera. Pretty straightforward. You turn the steering wheel and those will turn with it. And then you do have that bird's eye view as well. And then you've got the rest of the camera system. So you press that little button again, then it'll pop up with a view out the front. As for the rest of the infotainment system, response time on it's really good. You can see that you press stuff and pretty much happens right away. Now my favorite thing on this whole screen has to do with these two controls. So first off, the ambient lighting. It's cool, you can change the interior lighting on it. I always like that in cars. And then the seats. So this is a, well, we'll go over pricing in a little bit, but this is a Platinum. I almost said the price on it. And you get massage seats, which I just reviewed a $75,000 Lincoln. This is not 75 grand. And that one has massage seats too, so it's cool that you get like the same amount of luxury in a much less expensive vehicle. Now just down below, we've got all of our analog controls for the infotainment system, and then you got a little camera button, your parking sensor button as well. Climate controls here in this area. Remember, you've got 3 climates. You got 1 for the back, 2 for the front, so 3 total. You've got your controls for the heated seats and your ventilated seats for the front, your heated steering wheel as well. And then just down below, you can open up this little box right here. You can see there's a couple of USBs and a 12 volt and some extra storage. Here is the gear selector in the Ford, so you can see you can go through the different gear selections. Pretty straightforward. Push it in for the manual mode. Nothing too crazy with that. Couple of cup holders, and then you can see you've got your parking brake right here with your auto hold. This is the drive mode select, so again, you just twist it to either side to go through the different drive modes. That's your auto stop start. That's your stability control to turn it on or off. Your perpendicular and parallel parking assistance. That is so hard for me to say. Way too many P's in one sentence. That's your hill descent control. And then we've got our full center console, really nice leather on the top there. You can see storage space is good. You got a cable to thread through, wireless charging right in front of the center console. And then coming over, remember, look at this, nice wood trim, really nice leather all over the whole dash. Just looks and feels really nice. Opening up the glove box, pretty normal glove box, nothing too crazy with that. And sweet. Up top here, we've got a little sunglass holder, and then you can see we've got a full panoramic sunroof. If you're wondering, the controls for the sunroof are just in this little area right here for the Explorer Platinum. Universal garage door openers right here as well, and leather colored headliner, which matches the rest of this beautiful interior. Now that we're done going over the interior on the Platinum, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this 2021 Explorer Platinum with all the features it has, stickers for about $59,000 before any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take this Explorer Platinum out and see how she drives. Let's quickly talk about visibility before we set off here in the Explorer Platinum. So you guys can see visibility of the hood. It's really easy to see out of. And there's your visibility through both of the mirrors, and they do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear, a bunch of very large rectangular windows. So in general, visibility is really solid. And that all being said, let's set off. Well, we are initially setting off here in the Explorer Platinum, and first and foremost, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So from a ride quality perspective, and I'm going to compare this a lot to the Aviator because I just drove an Aviator right before this. Super smooth. It's not as nice as the Aviator. I can hear more road noise, and it just feels a little bit rougher on the road. So it's cool that I can actually perceive a difference between the two vehicles, driving them back to back. We'll see how the brakes are coming up to this. Yeah, brakes are really solid. We'll go through this little roundabout and kind of see what the handling's like. Yeah, handling's pretty good as well. It almost feels like this just doesn't handle and drive as well as the Aviator, so it's pretty interesting that, again, like, I can actually perceive a difference between both of them. But the handling's pretty solid for a third row SUV, and hopefully that light doesn't change so that we can get our full-blown acceleration here and not have to wait a million years. But I'm going to pop it into sport mode, and of course we're getting lucky. We'll see how the downshifts are though. Yeah, downshifts are actually pretty good in terms of the response time and the speed that they happen at. But let's get our full-blown acceleration here in the Explorer. Whew. Caught up to traffic a little bit too fast there, but the brakes are good, so we don't have to worry about anything. Yeah, so the acceleration's really strong. Again, doesn't feel as quick as the Aviator. Now, this doesn't have as much power as the Aviator, so that kind of makes sense that this acceleration doesn't feel as strong as that. And we'll get a couple more downshifts here so you guys can kind of see the response time on that. Downshifts aren't as responsive as I expected them to be, but they're still relatively good. We'll get one last acceleration before we sum things up. Super smooth, not as smooth as the Aviator. That's so interesting. Again, it's just super interesting to me that I can actually perceive a difference between the two vehicles that well. Obviously I drove them back to back, but it's just super interesting. So let's actually get into summing things up with this Explorer Platinum. So first off, I'm just gonna say it, I think this is a really good value. So from like a power perspective, it's super similar to like a Dodge Durango with the V8. So like the RT or like a Citadel with the V8, that's 360 horsepower. This is 365. That has 390 or 395 pound-feet of torque. I can't remember the exact amount, but about 390. This is 380. So the power figures are about the same. This is twin turbo. That's a naturally aspirated 5.7 Hemi, but this is like fully loaded, and it's about the same price as like a almost fully loaded Durango, but not quite the same amount. I just feel like this is such a good value though. The interior is super nice on this. I actually prefer this interior a little bit to the Durango, especially the seats and the dash and all that, just a little bit nicer. And so I just think this is a really good value. So if you're looking at a third row SUV, obviously there's a ton of different options in the market right now, but this new Explorer Platinum, you have to check it out. And if you're looking at the Aviator, I would actually check out this Platinum before you buy an Aviator, because you can get pretty much all the stuff the Aviator has, minus a few things, for a lot less money. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Explorer Platinum. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for providing us with this Explorer. Check out the inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in the next video.